The Haunted Mansion is one of the most Disney's best dark rides of all time. It shares many spooks, illusions, and tricks for main riders. However, since this is not the time I'm going to be talking about it, there are actually many versions of the Haunted Mansions, such as the one in California, which is the original, the one in Florida, the one over in Tokyo, and finally the one over Paris. And no, I am not talking about Mystic Manor, since it also was just a spinoff, not in a ripoff. Since just depending on what the title of the video it is. So, and since that Preslin was under development, there are going to be more versions of the Haunted Mansion as well. Within the one over in Florida, the one over in Yuba City, Arkansas, Texas, which also has the same as Paris's version, in Mississippi, and the final installment of the Haunted Mansion, Pennsylvania's Haunted Mansion. So these are coming up soon, and just don't forget that this classic Disney attraction is no bound being original, but rather it has many shares of their attractions in many carnival parks. Today we're going to be talking about the top 7 Shameless Haunted Mansion ripoffs. Now, before we dive into the top 7, I'm going to ask you that this is my first time of filming a top listing video. So, we're going to notice that if those attractions had completely copied the elements from the Disney version, well, you had to be glad that no one had never got sued from creating something like this. So, let's dive into the top listing. Number 7. Kennywood's Haunted Mansion. Located in Pennsylvania, Kennywood's Haunted Mansion happens to be as one of the most, if not most popular attractions because of how it actually looks and due to the graphics of the attraction. And there's a scene where you're in prison, and if you look at the carts, they kind of look a lot similar to the Doom Buggies, except it's red. And there are a lot of disturbing scenes throughout the attraction. There's this scene with a guy who is strapped into an electric chair, and this Tika guy that pops out. Whoa, talking about a Haunted Mansion meets Tiki Room. So, if you're from Pennsylvania, you should try this attraction, because since it was so popular nowadays, and if you look at the name of it, but a long time ago, this attraction was actually called Haunted House, but it was changed to the Haunted Mansion. Because as you see the name in today, it was originally copied from the Disney version. Number 6. Hotel Transylvania, the ride. Located at Dubai Parks, this attraction was softly based off a movie with the same name. Inside the attraction, there was a queue that looks like a lot like the Grand Hall which was taken from the Paris version. You aboard to the vehicle that looks a lot, and looking at the vehicle, looks heck a lot like the Doom Buggy because it's all black color. And as you go through, it's not that slow, it was also a motion moving vehicle, just like what you see in Mystic Manor. You go through many scenes, and then where that resembles the scenes from the movie, and then the and then you see all these scenes that and to make it look like that you're in the movie. So if you live in Dubai, you should give this attraction a try. And by the way, this shamelessly copied the Haunted Mansion over at one at Disney. So what's next? Is there gonna be an open season ride that completely ripped off Splash Mountain or something? I would definitely love to see an open season ride in the future. Number 5. Geisterslosh, aka Ghost Castle. Located at Germany, this attraction would almost seem to be almost like a ripoff too. As you begin your attraction, you start in a large warrior, and then after that, you enter a stretching room, which is probably like the same as the one we see in Disney. And then what happens when you board to the vehicle? You see these, which looks exactly like the Doom Buggy. It looks like it's probably like the combinaments between the attraction and the Little Mermaid ride all mixed all together. And there are also several differences. Leota was supposed to be in the seance scene, not in the barroom scene. And the ghost that appears in your car comes in the end, but not in the middle. There is also a scene where you enter the graveyard and with all the busts, like the original attraction, and it also had a lot of snow, kind of like the holiday version as well. And there's also this scene, and what is this supposed to be? Like, is this supposed to... It kind of looks like something straight up from like a CGI kids film. You know, like Monster Family or something. Why this attraction has to do with this? Number 4. Haunted Mansion over at Dreamworld. This attraction wasn't even very popular at all, since it was sold in Korean. And they have a lot of picture shots that you can take a picture of yourself to make it look like that character. But once you go inside, it's a lot more disturbing and kind of graphic than Kennywood's Haunted Mansion. And this attraction has a lot of jump scares, like Universal's Horror Nights, except it's because it's also a walkthrough, and it's just an attraction that I not wanted to go in. Number 3, Phantom Theater at Kings Island. This attraction was super cool and fantastic at the time, since it completely ripped off the Haunted Mansion due to its vehicles and the storyline of the attraction. And first, you enter this large voyeur, and once you enter the vehicle, it kind of looks exactly like, yet again, the Doom Buggies. And then you go through around the scenes, and you can actually see that it looks exactly familiar to the Disney version, except you go down from the graveyard, you go down from the slope like the Disney version. Like everything is stolen from the Disney version. Well, sadly, this version was closed down to make way for a Scooby-Doo attraction. So probably that might have been a good thing, since that it shamelessly copied the Disney version. Number 2, the Haunted House over at Kennywood. This attraction was a little bit popular than Kennywood's Haunted House, because they both take place precisely in Pennsylvania's version. Although definitely that present over in Pennsylvania is also going to be having their own version as well. So, as you go into the ride, the vehicles kind of look pretty much like the same as the Doom Buggies, except the big difference that they also had guns, so you can shoot things. Kind of almost like a mishmash with, Buzz Lightyear or something. And then you go around and then shoot a lot of targets, and they all have a lot of references. Like they actually put out a reference for like Monster House in this attraction. And there's so many things to shoot, and as long you have to hit up to be a lot of points so you can rank out a lot of score. Just imagine trying to hit like a 99 points on this attraction. You would probably be lucky and rich for this attraction. And now it's time for horrible moments. Ghost Blasters at the American Hall of Fame. Located in Minnesota, this attraction was one of the most popular Haunted Mansion ripoffs ever, since I actually have been to this ripoff when I was like little on like Santa Cruz, because once you go on it, it's probably basically the same as the one in Kennywood, where you can like shoot things and everything around you to preventing you from getting attacked from ghosts. Exactly like from the Kennywood version. So I actually loved this attraction when I was like little, and I can't go to the American Hall of Fame version since I'm not from Minnesota. And I have to point out that this guy kind of looks familiar to the Hatbox Ghost in the original. And finally, in number 1, we have Haunted Castle over at Santa Cruz. A long time ago, this attraction is more like a Haunted Mansion ripoff. Except this one is very popular to this day. We all thought that this version from Perezlin used to be in Santa Cruz, but it also got changed to Yuba City. And now we're gonna be just focusing on this Santa Cruz one, the boardwalk version. And in this one, you're boarding into like a doom buggy, and then you go around all through these scenes, including some less jump scares in those scenes. And some scenes might look dark and kind of graphic and less graphic. And the scene that you're pondering on will be like this guy that's going to be buried alive, and even the skeleton who's cooking some stew. And actually this guy who's like drunk. So and yeah, I actually had been to this ripoff when I was little as well. So definitely this attraction was very popular. So if you're from California, you should definitely try out this attraction. So there you have it, a whole cetera of Haunted Mansion ripoffs for you guys. So, which Haunted Mansion ripoffs is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.